Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today I have an unboxing of two brand new KAVISO exclusives that are dropping today. As a matter of fact, they should be available right now. There will be links below to pick both of these knives up, as well as a link to KAVISO's website. Real quick before I go into this, KAVISO, you guys have heard me talk about them in the past. In the past, I've said KAVISO Outdoors. That used to be their name. They're going through a rebranding. They got rid of the outdoors, even though they do sell a lot of great outdoors gears that are worth checking out. But they are moving to just KAVISO. So this is their brand. This is their logo. Like I said, the website will be linked below. Go check out that website because they have a lot more than just folding knives there, than just knives in general. They have a lot of outdoor gear. Very, very cool website, and they have a lot of stuff coming. They're in very much a growing phase right now. They just moved into a new warehouse. They're getting things up and going, but expect big things, amazing exclusives coming from KAVISO in the future. Definitely a retailer you want to keep your eye on. And what we have here are two Boker exclusives, and you guys know, you know I'm not exactly Boker's #1 fan, but there are some Bokers that I am a fan of. This happens to be one of them. I'm very excited to pull these out and show these to you guys. We're gonna do that here right now. Right now, we're not gonna go into anything else other than unboxing these knives. We'll set this one aside here real quick. We're gonna bust into this and see what we got here. We have a silica pouch. All right, so this silica pouch, no, kidding, silica pouch means nothing. Okay, let's pull into this knife, and what do we have here? Another thing that I love about the new Bokers. Boker has been doing some things to really get my attention lately, and the presentation is one thing. That, it's more solid boxes, which is going to hold up better in shipping, and a very nice pouch. Nicer than we, in my opinion. Very nice pouches, or pretty similar, but I still really do like them. And what do we have here? We still don't know because it is in this. We'll pull this out, set this right here, and of course you get your regular literature stuff that comes with it, but very nice pouch. The little pockets, very nice and soft, protects the knife very well. So very nice pouch coming with the Bokers now. Where'd that zipper go? Ah, there it is. Okay, so let's take a look at this, get all the packaging out of the way here. What do we have here? Now, due to how slim the knife is, I'm sure some of you probably already know what this is about to be, but there's something very special about this knife right here. Yes, here we have the Boker Kwaiken Air full size, super smooth, with purple haze fat carbon. And right out of the box, I am so happy with the fit and finish of this knife and how this fat carbon purple haze looks. Purple haze fat carbon looks phenomenal. So let's set that right there, and let's take a look at the other box. Now, there's definitely some relation with these two knives, and you will see here in just a second. But yeah, this is one of those things where there's something for everyone, I think. Whether you like a big knife or a small knife, KAVISO's got you covered on this one, because what we have here, any guesses? You're probably all guessing right just about now. We have another Boker Kwaiken Air, but this is, when I can get through 1,000 layers of wrapper, the mini purple haze with fat carbon, and oh my gosh, just as good as the original size. And look at what we have here. That right there is what you're looking at, is definitely one of my favorite Boker models of all time. It's really, really good, and these two models here are a really good example of doing them right. First of all, let's go over some quick specs on these. We're not going to go the full rundown like we have in the past, but we have here VG10 steel on both of these guys. We have an overall length of 8.39 inches on the regular Air. This is the farthest thing from a small knife. This is a rather large knife, just very slim. 8.39 inches, and a total length of 7.20 inches on the Mini. So even the Mini isn't exactly short, it's just smaller than the original. Blade length on the regular Air is 3.54 inches, and blade length on the Mini is 3.07 inches. Going down to handle length. Handle length on the Air is 4.85 inches, and handle length on the Mini is 4.13 inches. Weight, actually a noticeable weight, considerably noticeable weight. We have 2.96 ounces on the regular Air, and we have a weight of 2.08 ounces on the Air Mini. And price. One of the biggest factors of anyone's thought process and decision-making process that goes into buying a knife. What are the prices on this? With a great design, with fat carbon, guys, the price on these knives are, in my opinion, really damn good. We have a price of $115 on the full-size Air and a price of $109 on the Mini. So I got no complaints there in terms of price. I've seen a lot worse offerings at a lot more than what you're seeing right here for these two. So very, very good job on the price. And let's take a look at some size comparisons real quick. I have actually reviewed both of these knives, the regular and the Mini. You can search it on, search Wayne Sharp World, Boker, Kwaiken Air. It'll pull up both of them. But I did like both of these knives. The full size, I think, was a little more appealing to me just because you guys know I like little bigger knives. Here we have the Civivi Imperium, and we also have the Benchmade 940. These are really the only two of the more slender knives I have. They're a little longer that kind of stack up with this Boker Kwaiken Air. And as you can see, it's longer than both of these. As a matter of fact, when I actually line them up correctly on the grid, there we go, it's considerably longer than both of these. But the feel in hand is very different than both of these, obviously, because you have a much more slender handle. But there's those, and now we also have some size comparisons for the Mini. Not quite as good size comparisons for the Mini. I don't have a lot of Mini slender knives, but you know what? I got a couple that I think will work. Here we have the Pena Apache front flipper, and then we also have the stubby Kwaiken. I was trying to think of the name of it, and it just hit me. This is the stubby Kwaiken. This is actually a Blade HQ exclusive. But you guys can see here, I've now had 5 Kwaikens throughout my collection. I had the ProTech automatic Kwaiken, which I really did love. I ended up selling it though. I have the stubby Kwaiken. Obviously now I've handled these 2 Kwaikens, and then I've also handled the original full-size Kwaiken Air and another Mini Kwaiken. That was a lot of confusing Kwaikens and Airs, so I hope that made sense. But as you can see, obviously the stubby is a lot shorter and a lot wider, so I don't know how much good that's doing for you, but the Pena Apache, I think if anyone's held a Pena front flipper, you know how long those are, so this is still a rather long knife, even though it is the Mini version. But what I really like about the Kwaiken in general is that whether you have the Air or the Mini or the automatic or the original, it's a little more of a refined, simple design that I think works well as a gentleman's knife, especially the Air though. The Air really does kick up the notch in terms of the gentlemanly take on a knife because it's so slim and slender. The handle is sleek. The pocket clip on these guys are perfect. As you can see, they are both fully recessed clips, one longer than the other, but I gotta say, I really enjoy the clip length on both of these. Neither one is too long, even though this is a pretty long clip. It's a very long handle. I mean, as you guys can see, there is a lot of excess handle coming out of the bottom of this for me, and I have rather wide hands, so very long handles that I really do enjoy, especially on this full-size model. And this Mini model here, I think is equally enjoyable because it's still a full 4-finger grip. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this is even whether you like the large or the Mini, they're both gonna feel really good in your hands. No hot spots. Even up here, you have kind of this little choilish area that you can use. Now, you're going to feel, obviously, the corner of the handle here. But that doesn't really bother me that much, because when I'm using this, I'm not going to be using it for like real long term, so I'm not going to feel any type of real, hot spot or abrasions, or I'm not going to get any blisters or anything, because I'm just not going to be using it that hard and that long. And same with this, you still have that little choilish area here, which is nice. These knives are not the kind of knives you want to use really hard and just beat all to holy hell, because they're slimmer, thinner knives. They're made for light to moderate EDC use, I would say. And they're definitely great for that dressy occasion. And the purple fat carbon. Let me give you guys a hint, because my wife told me this a long time ago, and I finally believe her. Even though she's usually right and I'm usually wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I'll edit that out. I don't know. You guys know I don't edit my videos much. But anyway, she said that a lot of guys look really good in purple. They just don't know it. And she liked purple, so I, started buying purple shirts every once in a while to, like purple dress shirts to wear under a blazer or whatnot. And I gotta admit, I think I look okay in purple. Purple is a color that I think complements a lot of guys. They don't realize it. And so when you have a, purple fat carbon, you pair this with a dress shirt or something, that's pretty clean, pretty slick. Just saying. But no, purple is an underrated color. It's not the color I gravitate to at first. I'm usually a red, green, blue guy. But I really do like this. I like how it works with the black. Very sleek offering from Caviso. Very nice exclusive at a very good price. But let's talk about the action on these knives too, because I gotta say, the action on this guy right here, on this full-size Kwaiken Air, is some of the most enjoyable action I have ever experienced on a Boker knife. It is effortless. The blade flies out. And I remember my original review of this. I still really liked the action on this knife, and it is just fantastic. It really is. I mean, it's effortless. The detent is just right to where you cannot shake that blade out, but you can just easily whip that blade out, and it shoots out. It really does. It is such a fun knife to deploy, especially as just a front flipper. And what really is impressive, probably the most impressive thing about this action, is even though it has a very minimal flipper with very good jimping, the jimping's fantastic on this, but it has a very minimal flipper, which is sometimes a lot of people, you can do, that number. You can pull past it, and it's just kind of frustrating. Not the case with this knife. This is absolutely perfect in terms of action for this knife. You guys hear me say that a lot, because a lot of knives are so different. You can't have kind of like a baseline action for every knife, because every knife, depending on the blade and the flipper or form of deployment, it needs a different strength of detent. And the detent on this guy is perfect. It really is perfect. I am in love with this full-size Kwaiken Air. What I didn't like on the original Kwaiken Air was a lot of the nicks and scratches along the liner. That really looked bad to me, and the clip was really beat up. Now, granted, those weren't coated. Those were just regular stonewash, but it was more than just a stonewash. Like, there was little, indentations and nicks and scratches on it that I didn't really like. But as you can see, you don't have that here. This is a very, very clean model. Fit and finish on this guy is pretty excellent. One of the best fit and finishes I've come across on a Boker in quite a very long time. It probably ranks up there as one of the best ever, to be honest. And you should get that with an exclusive. This is a representation of what Caviso wants to bring to the table. And yeah, they're off to a fantastic start. Really love this full size. And now the Mini. I do remember the Mini. I remember saying that the Mini, it takes a little more of... It has a stronger detent, is the best way to put it. It does have a stronger detent, but a lot of that has to do with a smaller blade and everything, but it's not hard. You just have to, it takes a little more of a push on that detent. And in terms of misfiring, you're still not going to do that. It's uncanny how easily this blade flies out. I had another Kwaiken Air. Let me get it real quick. I have it somewhere around here. Let me find it. Here it is. The full black one. And now this one is still really good, but the detent on this one is even a little stronger. This was the one I originally reviewed, so if you look up my former reviews, you can find this in there. I still really liked it as a gentleman's knife. The detent was just a tad harder than I prefer. Now, I will say after I lubed this up and you know, did a little TLC to it, it's much better. But this Mini Kwaiken Air compared to this Mini Kwaiken Air, there is a difference. This is a not much easier, but noticeably easier blade to whip out. And as you probably even saw and heard there, just a little crisper action. Definitely crisper. And man, this just, it makes such a great gentleman's carry, especially the smaller one. Some guys may think that the full-size Kwaiken Air is too big to be considered a gentleman's folder. I respectfully disagree, but I will agree that I think the Kwaiken Air Mini is a slightly better gentleman's folder, or at least in terms of like universally speaking, with what everyone thinks. I think more people would say, oh, this is a great gentleman's folder, and man, it really is. This would sit very well in a pair of slacks. A perfect little clip there, nice and small, not too long. Excellent, excellent clip on this guy, on both of them. But usually the smaller the clip, the more I dig it, and I really love this clip on this knife. So, yeah, guys, overall, I am very, very pleased with these two Kwaikens. Love the purple fat carbon. Love the action. The fit and finish on these guys really is phenomenal. The fat carbon pops, the blade slices, everything's good to go on these as far as I'm concerned. Very happy with how these came out, and I am really looking forward to seeing what else Caviso has coming through the pipeline over the next handful of months and years to come, because they're not going anywhere. They continue to grow. They continue to bring out very attractive exclusives, and yeah, they just got cool stuff going. So guys, let me know what you think of these Kwaiken Airs, these exclusives. They're going to be linked below, as well as the link to Caviso's website. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed bringing these ones to you. And I don't know, I may have to try and hold on to one of these. I don't know if I'm going to send both of these back to Caviso, because they're both super sweet. But which one do you guys like more? Let me know in the comments, the full size or the mini. I'm excited to hear your guys' comments on this. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.